Good morning and welcome to Fox 29's News Now on this Wednesday morning. We're going to get started with some local news out of Spring Garden, where police say a woman was attacked while jogging. It happened shortly before 6 p.m. last night on Wallace Street. Fox 29's Lauren Johnson filed this report.
We actually spoke to the man who encountered this attacker moments before he attacked that woman. You can see here on Wallace Street, it's trash day today, but yesterday, he tells us, that attacker was drinking out of a white cup, picking up trash off the street. He says he might have looked at the man a little too long before the man became angry and upset. He started yelling and cursing, and moments later, the attack happened right here on the 2200 block of Wallace. A 30-year-old woman was running east on this street when she was approaching that man on the sidewalk. She had no idea what had happened moments before. She was almost past him, but before that could happen, she was attacked. He punched her and then kicked her before walking away as if nothing ever happened. Luckily, that man saw the attack, shared the story with police, in addition to telling Central detectives that he had had that confrontation with that same man moments before. And then another neighbor shared his surveillance footage with police.
This appears random. The female was clearly jogging. She was wearing a jogging outfit and sneakers. She only lives about 2 blocks from where this happened. She states she had no confrontation with the male, no prior argument with the male. She never saw this male before, even though she lives in the area. And although she was listening to music and had a cell phone, nothing was taken, so robbery is not a motive.
That female victim was taken to Jefferson after complaining of face and head pain and dizziness. She was listed in stable condition. Again, she lives 2 blocks away from here, according to police, and says she never encountered the man before in her life. She did remember his description briefly, said he was about 6 feet tall, very thin build. He was wearing a hooded sweatshirt covering his face partially, but she did remember that he had facial hair. So if you maybe recognize this story, if any of the details sound similar, you are asked to call police.
Also in local news this morning, new parking kiosks are coming to the city of Philadelphia. Fox 29's Steve Keeley filed this report.
They're changing how you pay to park again in Philadelphia, replacing all 1,100 of these confusing kiosks, now 10 years old. And it also means the final days for Philadelphia's parking meters. We still have 8,416 of them around.
We're covering the whole city. So we're used to see poles or meters, little single heads. Those are all going to be replaced. That's about over 8,000 across the city, plus 1,100 of the current kiosks. So it's a lot of equipment. We got a remarkable price, and we've got the most modern, efficient equipment anywhere in the world.
It would be a lot more convenient with using it electronically, especially when you get your money back. Then that eases the frustration for everyone.
The new machines come from France, and they start getting installed citywide on Tuesday. It'll take until June to replace everything else. But unlike the machines they're replacing, no paper bills can be used anymore. Just credit cards, debit cards, or the classic coins.
The technology on dollar bills becomes complicated. It causes the machine to go down more often. So you can use a debit card, you can use a credit card, and you can use coins. The problem that machines have, and all the industry is saying, do not use the bill readers because they get mold. The bills get moldy, it jams up, and people are going to be more frustrated because the equipment's going to be down. But you can use coins. So if you're like me, you carry a roll of coins in your car, and you want to use coins, go ahead and feed them.
So no more of those little paper receipts that you're supposed to put on your dashboard. The ticket writers now have to scan every license plate in every parking spot to see if the vehicle's paid up.
Technology is emerging. The first meter was introduced in 1935, and we've come a long way. Our modern customer expects convenience, and it's needed. So the new equipment really enhances enforceability to the extent that it's less likely you're going to get a bad ticket. If you've paid your session and you've put the ticket number in correctly, the officer will know that you paid.
You can get refunds too with this new system. Say you pay for 2 hours of parking and only use a half hour or 1 hour, but no refund if you pay by coin. In University City, Steve Keeley, Fox 29 News.
Also in local news overnight, police are searching for the gunman behind a deadly shooting in West Philadelphia. It happened around 8 o'clock last night on the 5500 block of New Place. Investigators say a man was shot in the head, shoulder, and back. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. So far, no arrests have been made. And in Berks County, a community is shaken as state police investigate the tragic deaths of two young children, a brother and sister. And a warning to our listeners that the details of this case are disturbing.
Ma'am, can you tell us about their searching this property?
8-year-old Connor Snyder and 4-year-old Brindley Snyder were found hanging by wire cables in the basement of their Albany Township house on September 23rd. They were revived by medics and rushed to the hospital where they died 3 days later. Their 36-year-old mother was home at the time, but she has not yet been named a suspect. State police are reviewing an Xbox and looking for a dog that was reportedly given away by the family. Meanwhile, the children's deaths have stunned the community.
Everybody kind of knows something of each other, small town stuff. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I just think of a 4-year-old.
The Berks County District Attorney says this is a, quote, horrible case, and he hopes to have something in the next couple of weeks. Meanwhile, Child Services continues to work with the family. And an update to a story we brought you from Cape May County. Sea Isle police have arrested a man for a hit and run that left a Temple student seriously injured. Police say 43-year-old Wendy Rodriguez Cuevas hit 23-year-old Tom Ruggieri over Labor Day weekend and fled the scene. We sat down with the victim last month. Ruggieri says he woke up in the middle of the street on the corner of 78th Street and Landis Avenue. His injuries forced him to miss this semester of school.
Looking out for your well-being.
And authorities in Camden County are trying to help parents of teens spot the signs of potential drug use. A special awareness program called Hidden in Plain Sight was held at Hope Church in Voorhees last night.
Well, again, if they know mom or dad aren't going to be coming in the room snooping around, they may not be sitting right out on the bureau or on a shelf, maybe up on a shelf in the closet.
In their bedrooms.
Okay? But again, it just looks like a regular tube of sunscreen, but it comes with a little funnel because it's actually sold as a flask for alcohol. Think about it, if this is on a cup in their desk with pens and pencils, again, why would anybody think anything other than that? It's actually a little metal designed specifically for vaping. The tassel, you would actually connect your vaping device on the end, and there's a tube going through which comes out here, and this end is what the person would inhale with. And on the website, this little pocket here is used to hold a bottle of beer.
McMahon also showed parents a hooded sweatshirt designed for vaping. Parents say they will check items twice after attending the program. And in Newcastle County, U.S. Customs and Border officers seized a $57,000 stolen Cadillac Escalade. The SUV's VIN number tipped off the officers at the Wilmington port on September 25th. This year, officers have recovered 16 stolen cars worth almost $500,000. Officers say most of the vehicles were headed to nations in West Africa. And this Wednesday evening marks the end of Yom Kippur for people of the Jewish faith. We wish everyone a good fast. Yom Kippur began at sundown yesterday. It's a day of atonement, and it concludes a 10-day period that began with Rosh Hashanah. Followers ask for forgiveness during the holiday and resolve to do better in the year ahead. And in political news this morning, the U.S. Constitution gives the House the sole power of impeachment, but it confers that authority without an instruction manual. Now comes the battle royale over exactly what it means. In vowing to halt all cooperation with House Democrats' impeachment inquiry, the White House on Tuesday labeled the investigation, quote, illegitimate, based on its own reading of the Constitution's language. Fox's Doug Luzader has the story this morning from Washington.
President Trump, he's drawing a line in the sand, and this may launch an enormous legal battle.
Oh, it will. Hi, Doug.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, this is not a matter of just kind of slow walking things at the White House. This is the White House saying that they will flat out not cooperate with Democrats who are trying to impeach the president.
Make no mistake, the White House is now on a war footing.
The American people have a good sense of fairness, and they know that this is not.
The administration firing back at Democrats in Congress, questioning the legitimacy of their impeachment inquiry because there hasn't been a full vote in the House to launch it. The White House legal team sent over an 8-page letter saying there would be no cooperation. And President Trump and his administration cannot participate in your partisan and unconstitutional inquiry under these circumstances.
That is an abuse of power for him to act in this way.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the House doesn't have to vote and fired back. The White House should be warned that continued efforts to hide the truth of the president's abuse of power from the American people will be regarded as further evidence of obstruction. That on a day when the administration pulled the plug on U.S. Ambassador to the European Union Gordon Sondland's testimony on Capitol Hill. He was expected to talk about President Trump's effort to get the president of Ukraine to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son's business dealings. So where does the Pelosi-Trump standoff go from here?
It goes to court. This is definitely headed to court, and the Sondland no-show and the letter are two parts of the same thing.
Yeah, it probably goes to court, and this would really be a constitutional question. And, guys, the Constitution is very vague about impeachments, authorizing the House to do them, but not getting into the specifics of how they need to be operated.
Yeah. All right. See you again tomorrow.
Yes. Thank you, Doug. We'll talk about the same thing.
Same story.
And in consumer news this morning, you can't get a better view than this. Airbnb is offering a chance for users to stay in the iconic Goodyear blimp. Fox Business's Tracy Crosco joined us this morning to discuss.
Yes, Airbnb is helping college football celebrate its 150th anniversary. So to do that, they are offering 3 one-night stays in the Goodyear blimp. You'll be able to stay in the hangar in Ohio. Unfortunately, it's not going to take you up into the sky. That's a little bit of a bummer, but it is still pretty cool because you're going to get a tour of the facility. The captain of the Goodyear blimp will be there to show you around. The blimp itself sleeps 2 people, but they've also set up a tailgating area for you, a football lounge so you can bring a few friends to hang out. And it's $150 a night, and you also get tickets to the Michigan and Notre Dame game on October 26th. So it's a cool little promotion if you can get this stay. I imagine it will be pretty popular. So the reservations open up next Tuesday on the 15th.
Yeah, it's the headline makes it sound better that you automatically think, well, I'll get to float around over the game.
That would be pretty cool.
And they do that every now and then. They'll take people up in it.
But not this time.
No, with all the furniture and stuff like that, it'd be too heavy.
Have you been in a blimp?
I've been in a blimp.
I've never been in a blimp. Have you, Tracy?
I've never, no.
Oh. What does it normally look like in there?
Not much.
What is what?
It doesn't look like much at all.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's beautifully furnished.
I think they've spruced it up. Yeah, they've made it look really nice to stay there. So.
But the bed, it's just like floating on air.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll get to experience it.
Okay.
Thank you, Tracy.
Tracy, see you tomorrow.
And on Good Day this morning, Pennsylvania lawmakers are introducing a legislation to reform the child custody hearing process after the murder of Kayden Manusco. Kayden, a 7-year-old, was murdered by her father last summer during an unsupervised visit. Jeffrey Mancuso, her biological father, then took his own life. This morning, Kayden's family joined Good Day to discuss the new law.
It's a story of loss, healing, and redemption. 7-year-old Kayden Mancuso lost her life at the hands of her father.
Her family is now pushing for new legislation to ensure no family has to feel the same pain they feel.
Police say 7-year-old Kayden Mancuso was killed by her own father during a weekend visit to his Manayunk home in August of 2018. Her stepfather found her body.
The images are still very vivid in my head. I can't get rid of them.
Investigators say before Mancuso killed his daughter, he penned an angry note to the girl's mother, Catherine Sherlock, before taking his own life. Catherine says she repeatedly stated during custody hearings that he was violent, but claimed she was forced to continue sending Kayden for unsupervised visits.
Everyone wants to keep pushing blame off of everybody, and no one wants to actually take a look and see what went wrong. Let's fix this.
Catherine is here, and so is Kayden's stepfather, Brian. Thank you.
And you guys are here to fix this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we go on, for maybe new people that have moved to the area, don't know the story, tell us about Kayden.
Kayden was my 7-year-old daughter. She should be turning 9 on the 15th. Unfortunately, she was brutally murdered by her father after a extended court battle for lasting majority of her life, really.
Yeah. And tell us about her life a little bit. What was she? She loved sports, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was good.
Yeah, oh yeah. She was she had a little competitive fire in her that you really couldn't teach.
Yeah.
We had to tell her sometimes to not get so upset when you know, maybe a teammate didn't catch a ball or something. But
what else did she like to do?
She loved making YouTube tutorials.
Oh, yes.
She loved makeup. She loved dancing. She loved
Her LOL dolls.
her LOL dolls. She loved crafting with me. She loved her brothers. She just loved life.
Yeah.
She really was an amazing child.
So to remind everybody, her dad, who ended up killing her, you knew he had a violent streak.
Oh yeah, he has had a violent streak his entire life.
Entire life.
Entire life. Since the time he was a small child.
So why was she allowed to be with him unsupervised? Is that just the law?
Yeah, well, parental rights superseded her rights to live. I mean, children should have constitutional rights to be protected just like any other human, and they're not. When you go to court, they take the parental rights over the rights of the child, essentially.
Because you expressed that, hey, he needs to have someone there with her when she's with her father. And what did the court say?
I actually begged for her help. I said, there's something wrong here. He needs serious help. I said, I wasn't trying to take her. I wasn't trying to be spiteful. I was just saying there's something seriously wrong here. Through his entire life, there had always been some kind of issue, and it didn't seem to matter. His violent history wasn't even allowed to be brought up in court.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Which is shocking to me.
I know. I can't imagine if I, as a mom or a female, had bitten off someone's ear in a bar fight. I don't believe they would give me a child.
No.
And it wasn't even allowed to be brought up.
And Brian, you found her?
Yeah.
An image you'll probably never get out of your...
No, it's still there. But, you know, it kind of is what it is. I don't really try to block it out. I mean, it's just something that happened.
Well, it can drive you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that's there that pops in and out every now and then. But
all right, well, tell us about the legislation then. How do we get how can we get it changed?
It's not easy. We are stuck in this society in ways that have been embedded in our laws for years and years and years. To try to have something to change, it's a lot of work. A lot of work from people that have to come together, collaborate, advocates, people that have been doing this their whole lives. Basically, I sought out my own state representative. I walked into his office and I said, how do you make a law?
And what do you want the law to say then that would help stop this from happening to anyone else?
Basically, the law says that the safety and the best interest of the child should come first in any custody proceeding. I mean, that's really it.
So basically, if you know that a person is violent, you can bring that up in court. Like
you should be able to bring it up.
To.
That it should be. You should be able to look at it as a behavior, a pattern of behaviors, or mental illness, or drugs and alcohol.
So
anything.
A judge can make a proper decision.
Right.
Have all the information.
They revamped the custody laws in 2010, and they gave it in Pennsylvania. You have 16 different points that you go through when a judge decides custody. Well, they weigh the same thing. They weigh mental illness and drug or alcohol addictions or violent backgrounds the same way as they weigh how far you are from other relatives.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, who would be against changing this legislation?
Unfortunately, a lot of people.
What is their concern?
A lot of people think they're taking away the rights of the parents. They take basically fathers' rights. It has nothing to do. This isn't gender bias. This is
because it's applied for a mother or a father.
Well, women can be just as crazy as men, and
wow.
We get a lot of opposition from people thinking that we're trying to take away people's rights, when all we're trying to say is that the safety and the best interest of the child should come first, and that's it.
What's the next step? There's a hearing?
A hearing.
We have the Senate bill was introduced into the Senate, I believe, on the 30th. Ironically, it's the same day as her death.
Yes.
868. I think they're going to the House at some point, and we have a committee hearing on October 17th in Lower Makefield at 11 a.m. and it's open to the public.
Okay, let's fill that room.
Yes.
Okay.
Support.
And let us know and keep us updated how it's going, so we can tell our viewers.
Yeah.
Okay. The best to both of you.
Thank you.
As always.
Thank you
for being here.
Thank you so much.
I'll be right back.
And more on Good Day this morning. There is a way to quench your thirst without water. Why researchers say water isn't necessarily the best option when it comes to staying hydrated. In fact, there are 4 other drinks ranked before it. We check them out on Good Day.
Hi.
Are you still at Drexel?
Yeah, I am.
You're still a nutritionist?
Still a nutritionist at Drexel.
Okay,
yeah.
we found this weird study that said if you're dehydrated, you know, we all think we go right to the water.
Right.
But there are 4 drinks on this survey that says maybe better for hydration than water?
Yeah.
Nairi, explain the study.
Okay, so what the researchers here did is they developed a beverage hydration index. That means they rated how long your body is able to hold on to the fluid that you drink.
Oh.
That's different than the best hydrator. It's more like how can your body retain the fluid that you put into it. And that's good for certain populations of people. You know, so for example, soda made it to the bottom of the list. And the reason it did is because carbohydrates, nutrients that are in it do extend the length of time it takes to hydrate.
The way you put that might confuse people. It's 6th on the list. It's not at the bottom of all the lists.
That's the bottom of my list. It's the 6th on this list.
But it's the bottom of the top.
Yeah. So.
But it's on the list.
Right. It made the list simply because it has carbohydrates in it. And it is well known and researched and studied that carbohydrates do help absorb fluid. That's why we have carbohydrate and electrolyte sport-specific drinks. We know this. It works.
Okay, number 5 on the list is the famous water.
Famous water.
It's number 5, so let's get to the others.
Okay.
What's 4?
Okay, so 4 is orange juice. Orange juice has the same methodology as the soda does. It's full of carbohydrates, but maybe a little bit too much. That can actually work backwards for you if you only choose orange juice, which is why we'll move up one.
What is that?
So this is an oral rehydration supplement. So like electrolytes, you know, that you might add to something. So it has sodium and potassium and the electrolytes that help your body absorb fluid better.
I see water that says it has electrolytes in it. Is that true?
Yeah, they may sell water with electrolytes in it, and that might be a very low calorie or no calorie water, which is good. That's good for most people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even as shocking as cola, which made the list, albeit number 6, milk?
Okay, so now what milk has added into it, which these don't, is it adds to the layers of nutrients. It has protein. So now that there's protein in it, that also helps delay the gastric emptying. So keeping the fluid in the stomach longer, meaning your body is retaining fluid, less bathroom breaks. That's what this is all about.
So
less
what type of
bathroom
milk?
breaks. So this one is skim milk.
Okay.
So it has
Skim.
protein, but it doesn't have fat. Okay.
But then number one is full whole milk?
Full whole milk. So what it does, now what do you think is added into that now that these don't have?
Well, there's
fat?
plenty of protein and fat.
And
yeah.
fat. So now there's one more layer. It adds fat. That means it holds on to the fluid even longer, because you know when fat, they say in the stomach, it helps hold on to food.
Yeah.
It helps slow digestion. Same thing. So who is this meant for, really? You know.
Well, that was another odd part of the study. They actually checked out different professions that get dehydrated faster than other professions.
Yeah, or they need to drink at certain times, and maybe they can't like use the restroom too frequently.
Well, we noticed the broadcasters on the bottom of number 5 because we don't. Well, I will go 4 hours, and I don't drink much water or any fluid during the 4 hours.
Because you don't want to have to keep going to the bathroom.
Because you don't want to keep going to the bathroom. So if you were to drink one of these drinks, then your body would hold on to the hydration for longer.
No.
So that's what this is meant for.
But
so
not
like
just us. So
athletes, for example, right?
No, I
so they're
understand
on
that.
they're on the field. No one's going to take a bathroom break, right? So that's another
Right.
good group that this would be good for.
Elderly?
Elderly, don't want to, maybe they can't use the restroom too frequently, but they need to stay hydrated. And the thing about athletes and the elderly is they need the calories that are here.
Yeah.
But the rest of us really don't.
But
I have a
construction workers
motto.
also?
Well, you're up on a
humans.
girder, you're
Yeah.
60 feet or 60 stories up. You don't want to pee on the street.
It's true.
Well, we don't want you to pee on the street in case we're on the street.
But what'd you say your motto is?
My motto is don't drink your calories. So most people should not be drinking their calories, which is why water is, if you have access to a bathroom and you have access to water, then that's still the best way to go.
In your book, water's still number 1.
In my book, water is still number 1.
But she's right about the access to the bathroom, because remember, Mike had me doing a gallon challenge for
That's
a
right.
while, where we drink a gallon of water a day. I was
Yeah.
in the bathroom more than I was doing anything else.
Yeah, how'd you
Probably
feel?
TMI, sorry. I was frustrated.
At least you weren't on top of a building.
Books and magazines in there. She was fine.
I was scrolling on the gram.
That's true. You know, what's going to develop is Instagram butt crease, where you get so interested in Instagram photos that you don't get off the stool. You know what I mean? There's going to be a disorder. You look at it for the next 5 years.
And then we'll recommend whole milk to
There you
drink
go.
to get through it.
Nairi, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Speaking of Alex, dinner for one.
And more on Good Day this morning. We had some hunks and some hounds. A steamy calendar is helping find shelter dogs their forever homes. Let's check in to see what it's all about.
Yes, we're going to bring in some good-looking people in the studio, because, you know, 2020 is going to be here before you know it. So why not get a new calendar now? And not just any calendar. Get a calendar that means something. Because the Philadelphia Bills, their Hunks for Hounds charity calendar, well, it's something that's pretty important. And so we want to talk about it. So here to tell us more is Allie Switowski, the Director of Marketing for Philadoptables. And you brought in some friends. But I first want to ask you, are you one of the many people who are, you know, determined and have to have the task of picking the fine animals and also fine men?
Yeah, I mean, it's a rough job, but someone has to do it.
Someone has to do it, girlfriend.
You know,
Is there a lot of
so-
research involved? You know?
A lot. It's very strenuous, a lot of night working, you know.
Night
but,
working. I love this. But the fact of the matter is this helps raise a lot of money.
Absolutely, and generate awareness about, well, the hunks, but also the adoptable animals in Philadelphia and our various rescue partners.
Okay, and how much does the calendar cost?
So it's $20, and that includes shipping, unless you catch us at an event where the calendar is $15. But 100% of proceeds for the calendar goes towards our animal rescue efforts.
So it helps all the homeless animals that are here in Philly. So as you look at some of our guests that we're about to bring here, think about this is like charity work, you know? Like we're doing this for a good cause. Let's bring out the first guy.
Alrighty.
Okay. So come on out. Oh, the shirts are off. Oh, my goodness. Just how it is in the picture. This is Mr. September, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the picture, but he's here in the flesh. right here. And he's with what is this, a 2-year-old?
This is Mitchell, this little guy who is available for adoption. As you can tell, Mitchell's very friendly, very happy. He's with one of our rescue partners, Tiny Paws.
Mitchell is posing. I love this.
Yeah. He also sees his foster mom, so he's adorable. Look at him.
And
I'm also very adoptable.
I would interview the dog in the situation, but I know they can't really talk. I don't speak, bark.
Right.
But I guess I have to interview you then. Tell us about you, Mr. Lopez.
George, 36, Northeast Philadelphia. North Catholic, class 2020. I'm sorry, 2000.
Okay.
Just got involved with Phil Adoptables a little while ago, and they told me about the cause and the fact that a lot of dogs need homes, and I jumped right on it.
You jumped right on it. Now, so you love animals?
I do.
All kinds of animals?
I do, all kinds.
Okay. And are you single? I'm sure there are ladies who are asking.
I am.
Oh, he is. Okay. Another reason to buy the calendar. Thank you, Mr. Lopez. We appreciate it. And of course, we love the dog too. Yeah. Okay, let's bring out our next model. This is Sean.
This is Sean and Forrest.
Okay, Sean and Forrest. This is Mr. April.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Can you tell us a little bit about who's Sean's friend here?
Oh, so Forrest is with Paws, and Forrest, he's still young. He's between 1 and 2 years old. So he's got as you can tell, he's kind of still got the puppy-esque look and behavior, but super friendly, sweet, well-behaved guy, and we're very grateful that Paws was able to bring him out here today.
Oh, he's giving kisses. Okay, let's talk to Mr. Hawley. Is that how you say it?
You're correct.
But, we're not married. It's a different, it's H-A-W-L-E-Y, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, just want to clear that up. So, do you love animals?
I do. I've been a certified vet tech for 7 years, so I work with them every day.
Okay.
Cats and dogs, mainly no exotics.
Okay.
But that's pretty much it. It was meant to be a joke between our staff sending in pictures of me to the calendar, and then out of nowhere, Michelle got in contact with me and said, we wanted you to be in the calendar.
They did it as a joke?
Yeah, I mean,
well now the joke's on them because you made the calendar.
We didn't think because of how many people were gonna, try out for it. But, it ended up happening, and I couldn't be happier for it.
So tell us about you. Where are you from?
Levittown, Pennsylvania. I currently live right in Tullytown, and I work at Pet's Best Friend Animal Hospital.
Okay,
Yeah.
very nice.
Thank
and
you.
again, just so I can ask everyone and be the same, are you single?
I am.
He is single.
I am.
Oh, is that a requirement to be single to be in
It's not, but I think it helps with sales.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you so much. And now we have our final guest, and some of you might think that he's the finest of them all. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Oh, can we get the camera? Oh, okay.
If you want to hold the calendar, I'll hold Harvey.
Real smooth, Mike. Real smooth. Oh my goodness.
Take the other dog out.
Wow.
Come here, bud.
Well, Mike, maybe you just want to make sure no one can get to you.
He's just excited.
Well, he's excited to see all this is probably what he's...
Is that what it is, or is he scared?
Yeah?
Oh, no, he's excited. He likes other dogs.
Oh, my... That's Harvey. Harvey the dog.
Yes. Have you guys... Oh, my goodness.
Get the other dogs out of the studio. There you go.
Take them all the way out.
Open the door. I'm not sure that's so hard to understand.
Wow. Someone's all worked
We
up.
need treats. I always carry treats in my pocket.
We're both like...
Here, Harvey.
I'm just going to stay over here.
There you go, Harvey.
Mike, anything you'd like to say? Or you think you said
You want to
enough?
interview me?
You want to come over here and be interviewed?
Sure. I'm from Pahrump, Nevada.
Oh, Nevada. Okay. Do you have a lot of experience with dogs? Because that was a little...
Not a lot.
Okay.
I am the second Tuesday of April.
Oh, the second Tuesday.
They
so
would
not the
give
whole
me.
month.
No, they wouldn't give me a whole month.
I see.
I refused to be February 29th. That's what they wanted to give me at first. But
Okay.
yeah, well, come on over to the house sometime. We'll see.
Allie, can you tell us about this excited friend
This
here?
is Harvey. So Harvey's actually one of our calendar models.
Oh,
He's with...
oh, let's take the costume out. Anything furry. If you are furry, you need to get out of the studio. We're having a Halloween segment next, and so...
He saw the werewolf.
Yeah, and there's a werewolf or something. And so
We'll be right back with a werewolf. Can you top that?
Oh, my God.
now to your Fox 29 Weather Authority. The Philadelphia area is slated for a rainy Wednesday, sadly, with some breezy conditions. Temperatures will reach a high of around 59 degrees. Occasional rain showers are expected with mostly cloudy skies. And those mostly cloudy skies are expected to dominate for the rest of the week for our forecast. Temperatures will rise up to at least 70 degrees, though, by Saturday. Here we have a look at current temperatures in our area. We're only hitting the 50-degree mark up in the Poconos. Slightly warmer, closer to home, 57 degrees over in Lancaster and 56 here in the city of Philadelphia. And the warmest really down the shore, 58 degrees in Atlantic City and 59 degrees in Wildwood. And that is going to do it for us today at Fox 29's News Now. Be sure to catch us again tomorrow at 10 a.m. and follow us at fox29.com as well as our mobile apps and across social media. And thank you for joining us this morning.